Hey guys, it's Jonathan from Bullet Motorsports. Right next to me we have a beautiful 1965 Mini Cooper S FIA historic race car. This is going to come with a book full of all of the history. This was purchased by Juan out of P4 Motorsports in 2015 from Auctions America. His whole goal was to keep the patina alive. This was in the Cayman Islands Museum, and they put it right in there after running a rally event. So it sat there for about 10 years with mud underneath it, and there was a lot of signs of rust underneath. So it took them 4 years to restore it. In that book, you're gonna see complete documentation, but what they wanted to do was retain all of the exterior appearances. This thing is unreal. When you start to look inside of it, you're gonna see all of the gauges, etc. Over those 4 years, they rebuilt the motor, transmission, and they actually did the underside. So you're gonna see that in the book, and you're gonna look at that in our gallery as well. You can see all of the gauges here. This is a real deal FIA historic race car with race history. So that's gonna be showcased in the description. The dash is just so neat with all these gauges and timers. I'm gonna go over the book. So it does have two fuel pumps, common for a rally car. And the battery originally was here. Juan decided that that was probably a bad idea if there was a spark from the battery, if it arced, so they moved that battery. This is the book that we're going to talk about. So this is all of the history and all of the restoration. So you've got all your serial numbers. This is how it looked when it was purchased. That's the Cayman Motor Museum, that's where it was. And they put that away after rallying it. That's exactly where it sat. They didn't clean it up or anything. Here's some of the history. The FIA historical identity forms, so you can find out about the vehicle. There it is. How cool is that? There's a FIA World Rally Championship information, so you can see the scores. So 4th place. And there it is, thrashing. So here's how the interior was originally. And then this is what the motor looked like. So it has 95 horsepower. It was built by Mini Coopers of Miami, and it was built to OAP specs. This is the first time it was pulled out. You can see the cylinder heads. Came out really nice. That's when it was going in, and we'll show you that shortly. So the bottom of this Mini Cooper is double walled. So they do that to protect it from rocks, etc., from dirt and debris coming up. This was how it looked originally. All of it was brought down to bare metal, reshaped, lined, painted, and undercoated. See, all the brake components were done. This is when they bagged the whole entire chassis. But you notice that they didn't bag the top of it. They only did the bottom, so they can keep all of the original patina. Here's all the shocks, the brakes. Look at how nice that is, all the CAD plating. Juan goes above and beyond whenever he builds a car. So you can see, this is what I was talking about. You see the fuel pumps are right here, and originally the battery was right there. This does have 2 fuel tanks, so it has 2 6.6 gallon tanks. And that's how the engine looked. Interior, let's go over the interior while we're looking at this book. So it's 1275 cc's, the engine that we're gonna show you. These seats are just perfect. Has Simpson harnesses, so 5-point harnesses. It does have a fire suppression system. You have all of your controls here, so if you had the battery switch on, which is located here, and you turn it on, you can have your flexi. So for the map, see, it lights up. And then you have all of your timers. You step in, and then you can reset it. Intercom, which is not set up in here. You got your card reader, cage light, horn, and then you have all your controls over there. So there's your starting procedure that you're gonna see on the dash. Basically, you're gonna turn on your kill switch, turn on your ignition. You can turn the ignition or you can push the button. You don't have to turn the fan on immediately. So if you're running it, obviously the air is gonna cool it, but if you do get stuck, you can actually click the fan button and it'll fire right up. You do have all dash lights, so everything illuminates. You have your map light right here, which you can see. I love the wear throughout. So your navigator would sit here and he'd be yelling out left, right, etc. I'm sure that I'm saying all the wrong terms, but it just has so much history. You can see how nice the roll cage is. There's an additional light back there. While you're looking at that, let's continue on with the book. So I'm going to have all the receipts included as well. It's all the interior we're literally looking at right now. Roof rack was added by Juan, and it looks really good. Some spare tires up there. And that's how it sits today. Here are all of the receipts. Mini Coopers of Miami when they rebuilt the motor. Let's open up the hood and take a look. Looking at the front fascia, it's extremely clean. Juan did paint the roof white. Originally it was red, and I think it looks great. He gave this a little bit of patina, and you've got your set of spare wheels here. Front end still retains the Lucas lights and your P700 bulbs. You've got all your badging here and all of the flaps throughout, your tow bar. I think this weighs around 1,500 pounds and 95 horsepower. Transmission has straight cut gears, and it sounds so cool. So once we go for the test drive, we'll get you guys some outside shots so you can see that. There are minor imperfections throughout, and that was the whole entire relic of this build, was to make it look as nice as possible, go through all the mechanicals. You've got your twin carbs right there. It does have a 13-row oil cooler. There's your radiator. You can see the fire suppression throughout. Insulated distributor, or insulated coil, I apologize. And all of the sensors are laid in place. Larger alternator. You got your stickers there for the next service due. Let me close it. So if you've never been in a car with straight cut gears, it's very interesting because of the whining that it'll do. This is a little go-kart, let me tell you. All of your windows and brightwork are original, so they do have a little bit of pitting, but they show very well. All the stickers are very nice. They made this sticker look a little bit distressed. Please look at the gallery so you can see how nice it is underneath. You've got your two twin fills right here. We've already showed you beneath this. Single exit exhaust out the back, and it is on Dunlop rallies. I'm gonna start it up right now so you guys can hear it at idle, and then we'll take it for a test drive. So you have door straps, just be careful. Open up the harness, leave this to the side for today. And I'm gonna put these in the back. How I get in is first foot. So I'm 6 foot, I actually fit in here. I have plenty of headroom. In order to start it, you're gonna put your supply on, which is right here. It does have a tether so you won't lose it. Okay, you're gonna turn your key, and you can either start it by turning the key, or you can actually click the button. It does have stack gauges. It's cold-natured, very healthy. Make sure it's in neutral. So it's powered by an S-type inline 1275cc 4-cylinder big bore racing engine. Makes 95 base horsepower at 5,800 RPMs. It's built to race specs by Osborne Automotive Preparation, which is OAP race engines in England. It does have a standard differential with a 4-to-1-to-1 ratio. and it is straight cut gears. It was professionally assembled by Mini Coopers of Miami according to OAP specs in order to maintain the original race tune and setup. Let's go for a ride. Let me get back there so you can hear it. You can hear the high performance clutch. Sounds really good, very healthy. Let's go. So the starting procedure, you're going to turn your battery on, supply, ignition on. You can turn the key or you can actually click the button. When it's cold, just 2 pumps. It's pretty neat. So the steering wheel is brought more towards the driver, so it's angled. You can see that there's a bracket here you can modify or move. And then when you're driving, you can hit your flasher as you're going. You've got all of these tag heuer stopwatches throughout. You've got the branch 2. And you can reset that. Just letting it warm up. You do have a holder for your, I guess that would be where you would put your turns. Light up here, and the roll cage is really nice. A little water. So there's a flex seat. So if you're reading, you see the lights on right now. Turn it on and off. Stack gauge with a Race Tech design for oil pressure. It has 60 pounds of pressure, and the water temperature is slowly rising. You have a reverse light here, so you have to switch for reverse. Your washers, I've never tried them. Oh, they work. Look at that. Clutches feels good. It's not too heavy. E-brake works. First gear. So remember, it has straight cut gears, so it's going to have that whining sound. Oh, this is going to be fun. Yeah? No? Okay. So neat. Brakes feel great, so it doesn't pull from left to right. Transmission feels really good. It's tight. It's not popping out of gear, and it does hold in place. Left here and take it onto our spot for rallying. We'll see how well it does. Let's get the fan on so we keep that temperature down. It's actually pretty smooth over the bumps. Like a bobblehead in here. How are we looking on your side spotter?